Appreciate everybody who's found their way in here. My content has not been pushing out very good. The live yesterday, they just put out for everybody like an hour ago, which is kind of ironic, or 2 hours ago. So that kind of messes it up a little bit when it's trying to push out. I did a 60-second short, now the live, so I'm just very blessed to have anybody who ends up showing up here. Doesn't matter to me if we have 1 or 1,000 people. As long as one person's entertained and engaged, I think this is really a special thing we do. Yesterday, a big talk of discussion was don't get caught up in that upward price momentum. Yesterday, I said, do not touch this market. Let this go through the weekend. I said, if you've got capital on the side, you're on a great spot because you're not going to get caught up in this slice and dice. And I told everybody yesterday, please don't do anything today. Let this market go up if it's going to and let it come right back down by the end of the weekend. And I'm looking for maximum capacity of pain before December 10th. So we have a 2-day FOMC meeting, which they'll discuss the federal funds rate. And I suspect we're getting a rate cut. And I would not be shocked if it's a 50 basis point rate cut. It's going to be a minimum of 25, which will still be in the right direction. But if we get a 50 basis point rate cut, we get a dovish talk, and with the ensuance of the quantitative tightening ending on December 1st, which was, 1 week ago now, about last Monday, and the quantitative easing starting with these rate cuts, this could be a very big moment. A very big moment. I would suspect that a 20% or more drop could happen across the board. I understand we've already come down some, but I still see XRP really teasing that $1.85, extending down as far as $1.77 to 82, and it could get worse than that. We don't know, but I can surely see a 20% drop possibly across the market setting up. And that is not a joke. I don't think XRP is necessarily going to hold $2 here. I think it's going to fall through, and we're hunting this $1.84 as we talked about yesterday and the day before and the day before, and we can go into a micro view and the macro micro view to how to get back into the macro bullish, which we failed. The macro bullish look, if we wanted to get out of a micro back into a macro push, first area to hold could have been 211, but at worst, and we could not suffer a new low in this area, which we just made actually, because we made a new low from here. We did not make a new low from here yet, but we're about to. If we break $1.98, we're going to make a new low from this inward consolidation, which would invalidate 100% that head. We'll see. Can we get some upward volatility? Who the hell knows? Who knows? But right now we're on the bottom side of this macro part of the pattern, which in the micro, it's a micro version, microcosm of the actual bigger view, but it's the macro part where you can flip from micro bearish to macro bullish, and we're failing right now, which means we can have a sustained micro push back down. And it doesn't mean it's got to be anything crazy significant. It doesn't mean it's got to be anything out of this world. It just means $1.85 would start to be the more predominant talk here. You can see it in more ways than one, even in this chart. It's got it set there. You can see it even more with the way that this is all set up. I set it in a shorter time frame. This is basically your Mendoza line. That's why this is so important, because yeah, $1.85 is one thing, but this, honestly, the way it built was the worst possible rejection we could possibly get. The way it came up, because we broke down out of this here. Let's just do it like this. Good morning. 9:44 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, December 7th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And if I feel like I'm fast-paced this morning, it's because we got to cook. I'm going to church. I got to be there at 11 a.m. It's snowing outside, so I got to walk through the snow. I just shoveled. But I want to go and go be around spiritualists, and I want to see the vibe from everybody, because I feel like the spiritual guidance and the speaking of the Lord is dying out, and I like to be around people that push that narrative, but in a way that I feel like is guided. So definitely going to go there. I've got my amethyst on today, as I talked about. Just a very small little piece. Very small. But I love it. It's supposed to bring more spiritual guidance. It's supposed to bring out bad energy. And it's supposed to help bring in the more pure, the pureness. So, but yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready to go do some praying. Ask for some guidance and direction. So don't forget to give thanks on this Sunday morning to Yahweh, Yeshua, your Lord and Savior God himself. Push power of messages of peace, humility, humbleness, and helpfulness. Encourage others. Be that positive influence, not the negative dismay. Positivity over negativity. And if we do this unified, Yahweh, Yahshua, Yahweh and Yahshua, that's Jesus. That's Jesus Christ in his true name, Yahweh or Yahshua. We call him Jesus in the USA, but he's actually Yahweh. Or some people call him Yahshua. You learn more about that if you look in the into the older verses. Anyhow, I used to wear a hat that said Yahweh on the top, and it was written in in that language and the hieroglyphics and things like that. Anyhow, yes, you do learn something new every day. Isn't that beautiful? And it's beautiful when you can learn about our Lord. But anyhow, we came through here on what could have been an inverse pattern, correct? So we had this little setting. So we had this setup. I overextended the resistance and overextended the support, which used to be resistance, because this is how we often talk about this inside out wedge. When I do teach classes to others, for anybody who wants to participate, I'm going to teach you this very deeply. I'm sorry that 13 of you left when I talked about the Lord, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. If you can't accept that, I'm not pushing my religion, but I'm definitely going to speak of it when it's proper. So this support resistance created a pattern, looked to break out, failed, broke down, reaffirmed this uptrend, came back up and back tested as a perfect rejection. This is a problem. And when we were up here on Friday and Wednesday, Thursday, then often Thursday, and then in the Friday we were somewhere right here. We talked Thursday about how this is bad. Wednesday night, bad. Because this is your proper rejection, breakdown, rejected again, and now this inside out wedge worked against us in resistance, came down below that 1, 2, 3 areas of support, rejected. Now it should bring us down. I think that $1.85 is on tap. I think that $1.85 is on tap, but here's what I'm going to tell you. You think this is the end? I have some news for you. In the grand scheme, this is just the beginning of this next alt season. It's crazy to say, but as I've said from the beginning in January, alt season is going to be an alt season of epic proportions, but not what everybody thinks, because it's all going to be dependent on where you buy it. If you were buying the dip that wasn't the dip, you're going to get crushed this alt season because we may never get back up there. But if you buy it at the right times and you follow my guidance and you listen when I tell you to have liquidity on the sideline, like I've been pushing for the last several days, even when we got rejected there, I said, this is a perfect time to get away. And I've got away for the most part. And I'm going to continue to have less and less and less variety of crypto. I'm going in 4 major directions right now. You already know the XRP and the XRP healthcare. That's not part of the directive. XRP healthcare is for the virtual and the new medical facilities that they're going to be doing when we're not supposed to go to hospitals or doctors and all this other crap. It's all going virtual. They're basically out in front of it. And yes, we were able to go from 1.7 to 50 something cents and make hella profit. But now we're at a different cycle now. Now we're trying to do the reaccumulation, which I have 100,000 right around, I want to say around 3, 4. I don't know what it actually is now. But that's the best I could do after taking profit and then trying to get back in after a significant drop. XRP is the same philosophy. That's a long-term philosophy. We had 10,000 tokens together. We had a challenge, which we beat. We won a challenge. I challenged my audience to buy $3,400 of XRP with me at 34 cents. And I said, I promise you, or actually I said, I guarantee, even though I shouldn't have said that, we're going to turn it into 35,000. We did that. Some people decided they weren't going to sell any of it. After all, the challenge was 3,500 to 35,000. We 10x'd. Well, you didn't have to just sell that bag. We bought another bag at 38 cents in July of 24 with the gift of all gifts. We decided to do it through the XRP Bitcoin pairing for anybody who's not new, or for anybody who's new. I showed everybody my purchase of $5,000, and I successfully sold all $5,000 at an average of about $3.17. Yes, some was at $3.50, some was at $2.75, some was at $2.65, one was at $3.60, some was at $3.20. It averaged around, I think, $3.18, $3.20. So I was very happy. Untouched the 34 cents XRP. So that's just going to sit there. It will for all eternity, unless I feel like we're going to come under a dollar and we're going to break down and cut in half and do all this other crap. That's not touchable. But we were able to expand our portfolio with our gift in July of 24, I believe it was. Then we were able to take advantage. And now I've got my own objective here. And this is not for anybody else, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. And eventually you could hear more about this in a deeper sense if you're part of the classes and you want to hear more of a philosophy. But these classes, you're going to be worked when I do it. Like literally, we're going to be on a lesson and it's going to say in the syllabus that this is going to go from week 1 and then week 2 is this. We might be on the same week 1 syllabus for 7 weeks because whether there's 1 or 50 people in there, it's only as progressive as the worst person in there with their understanding and grasping. So we're going to go slow as hell, dedicated as hell, 8 times a month until there's nobody left. And then if there's people that really appreciate it and they want to do it again, and there's people that missed out, 4 months later, I'll sign up more people and then we'll restart it from the beginning. And this is what I'm going to do, just like a regular classroom. It's not part of YouTube. It's not part of the Telegram. This is my own business venture because I've been approached to be an analyst, to be part of Charles Schwab sent me a message, which I actually took consideration because I like Charles Schwab. But I figured I can do this myself. And I'm trying to secure my son's future because he's special needs, autistic. He's nonverbal. He's never going to be able to do the traditional work or whatever. So I'm trying to secure him for when I'm gone. So that means I have to work an extra job now for the next 20 years. So it's either I'm going to do this or I'm going to go do this and go work as an analyst, or I'm going to do this and I'm going to start my own side venture, which I think would be a better idea because I can teach so much without restriction. And I'm working on it big time. Define's going to help me set it all up. Define, I've been working night and day on this syllabus. I've got so much stuff set up. I've set up the Zoom the way I want to do it because I can have up, and I'm going to pay for the business class. It can be up to 300 people in there at once. Everything is saved. It's all stored. It's going to be such a phenomenal thing for everybody. But anyhow, let's get back on track. So my guidance for what I'm doing, I have enough capital for 100,000 algo when this plays out. Yes, part of it was IOTA's funds, but because I'm staying on tier 1 exchanges, I'm not holding IOTA. I'm not getting Uphold to buy it. It's not going to happen. So algo, main priority of 100,000 tokens. And I don't own it right now, but when it gets to the spot, I did own it, but I sold it, as you guys know, before this last drop. XDC is at least going to be 300,000 tokens, a minimum. I'm taking a very big venture in a different way. No XLM this time around. It's all going into XDC. I told you, I'm closing the gap on other tokens. Yes, when it becomes appropriate again, I will buy Band back and have the 10,000 tokens because it's the main oracle of RippleNet or Ripple XRP Ledger, blah, blah, blah. The main data oracle, which is how you send the information from the blockchain to the actual ledger and vice versa to the main crypto, yada, yada, yada. Go deeper into it and you'll know why. Linea, I will own again, but there was simply no reason to hold it right now. Even the group I sold this out for the very last trade, we're up a couple $100 at the end. And we sold it up here and we said, there's no reason. I said, this is the time. I sold it up around here. And I said, I will buy it back when it shows me this 00. What did I tell everybody? 00640 for the third tap. I don't sugarcoat it. I might be a little bit unpredictable, but that's another one that I'm going to have. I'm going to have SHX, but we bought it at 0078. Sold it at 012 something. And now we're just cooking. We're waiting. Oh, Frankie, I'm going to have over 100,000 algo when I buy it back. Zero question. 100,000 minimum. So no, Frankie Fresh. Quite the opposite of not having any algo. I'm going to have a lot of algo. But I set up for this drop. I'm not a fool. I don't like Flare. Any token that they give you free tokens and voluntarily expand the supply like that, I don't like. Because even if you get it at $1, let's just say it's at 2 cents. Well, they keep putting more and more onto the market. So yeah, you can catch it. We often were buying it at 007, 008 and riding it to 3-4 cents and then selling it and rinse and repeat. Now it's just gotten more difficult. We've been in a bear market since January. Don't let anybody fool you. We've been in a bear market since January, which is why I made this proclamation and got fucking ridiculed by my own audience. But it's okay. Go back and watch that live and hear how I had to defend myself 11 months ago. XRP, why I sold 75% of my crypto and turned focus to gold and silver and mining stocks. In fact, I had to come on again 11 months ago and said, XRP, I tried to warn everyone I sold 75% of my crypto days ago. Bitcoin target 75K, XRP cut in half. That was when it was at 350, 340, 330. We cut in half. I don't sugarcoat things. I might look like a fool in the beginning because I'm going against the grain. But now when everybody says we're going down, we've already went down 50, 60, 70%. Congratulations. Thanks for coming to the party now lately. The Johnny come latelys. Remember what they said when we had that historic drop on October 10th? Don't buy anything. And what did I say? Buy everything and we'll sell it when it gets to rejection. When XRP it's 265 and everything else is likewise. And guess what happened? We bought the historic liquidation. XRP came all the way back up to 265. Bitcoin came all the way back up, well, almost to 100K. Over, actually, in the beginning. And now where are we at? Now everybody keeps saying, buy the dip. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. They've been telling you to buy the dip since 265 again. And now we're at $1.99. You can't buy a dip when it goes down 35%. That is not a dip. That is, you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes. This is not a dip. So we have to find the proper footing. And yes, it's tough for me too because I want to buy. Okay? I want to. But it's not time. You got to ride these patterns the way it suggests. You cannot let emotion take over. You cannot let it take over. So right now, we failed the FVG. Remember when we were above it and we said, well, if we hold this, we could come to 101, but this is a make it or break it moment. Now we put in what looks like a bear flag. If this isn't a double bottom and this is a topping rounding of the top right here again, we're coming all the way down to here. And then the technical target, and because we broke down here and never came back up, the technical target is still 72,683 at the short end. If this does maximum capacity out of this rising wedge, and I'm not afraid to say this over and over and over, even if everybody hates me, 59,545 is the maximum capacity. If it drops under 74 down to 72.6, that's your last stand. If it falls below there, Saylor, who created his own Bitcoin treasury, he's underwater in his own treasury right now. He's underwater. His treasury is underwater, even though he's technically got a lower price because of all of the nonsense he's done with taking out. This is going to go one of two ways. Either this is going to fall off a cliff, and the daily suggests this is not a good sign. You do not want to see the daily breaking bearish and overbought at the same time. It's not over for everything unless we break 59, FYI. So for anybody who thinks it would be, it's not over unless we break that 59K for Bitcoin, and I'm going to tell you why. Because technically in Bitcoin's history, we never came back and retested the cup and handle breakout. Okay? So technically, no, the pattern is not dead unless it breaks 59,545 or so. Believe it. And if we drop down, the monthly is going to be massively oversold. The weekly is already massively oversold. We're going to cook, I promise you. At some point, we are going to make returns that nobody's expecting here. And it's going to be in more the shorter term than longer term. Telling you. All ends meet like this for a reason. This is exactly what we want to see. I've been talking about for 2.5 weeks. If we can dump down leading into rate cuts on the 9th and 10th, we're going to cook. Because quantitative tightening generally takes anywhere from 30 to 90 days to fully implement. So I don't expect any of that from quantitative tightening to easing to fully transpire and take effect into this market until probably early 26. That's also going to be a cooking. We're going to cook. Trump has no control over this. The faster all of you stop asking me these questions about Trump and Biden and the Democrats, the right versus, they have nothing to do with this. The charts predict what Trump is going to say, and the chart predicts what the news is going to say. I've been saying this until I'm going to one day be so blue in the face, everybody's going to believe me. They don't matter. Trump, he doesn't mean shit when it comes to crypto. All he did was made money off it on the false fate of everybody's emotion. That's it. He made so much money with his family, you would throw up right now. You would throw up. Okay? He has nothing to do with this. He can talk he has zero to do with anything that's happening in front of you. They put him on there to piss off the Democrats, and then they put on Biden to piss off the Republicans so you guys can have pissing matches, when really it's the central banks running the show. Hey, Biden did this, Trump did this, I like the right, so the left is good, I like the left, so the right is bad. I mean, it's all bullshit, okay? So, but no, would Trump let this happen? Optically, yes. He wants Jerome Powell fired. Now, is it logical? I don't know. We have to see if this last layer breaks because we haven't broke yet. It's the thing. We haven't broke this layer yet. But no, Frankie Fresh, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just hate politics. And it drives me nuts that so many people can't see past the political nightmare we're in. It really drives me nuts. But anyhow, because we're in 2026 and the fact that everybody has pissing matches over politics, one side or the other, come on now. Don't you understand we're all mind numb and we're just idiots if we're going to push any narrative? Hey, the red guys say it's good. The blue guys say it's bad. Well, I like the red guys, so I agree. The blue guys say it's good, the exact same point the red guy said, but I like the red guy, so the blue guys are assholes. Then 2 weeks later, the red guy says exactly what the blue guy says, and all the blue pansies that were jumping up and down and getting excited about the blue guy saying it are now in defense because the red guy said it, and all the red losers that were all excited about the blue guy because they said he was a douchebag when he said it, now they say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread because the blue guy or the red guy says it. You can't make this up. It's just like the race thing. A black person does it. Hey, they're the victim, this and that. A white person does it. They're the enslaver. An Indian does it. They're the terrorist. You know, a Muslim does it. They're carrying a, you know, it's all predictable nonsense they're making us do. I got news for you. We're all human beings. Black, white, Indian, Muslim. It's all about the individual person's integrity. It has nothing to do with the color of the skin. Just like this market, just like politics has nothing to do with the color on their sleeve. It doesn't. But then again, I don't want to ruffle too many feathers. 10, what was that? 7% of the people just left. So let me get off that topic. 391 Will, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. That is super generous on this Sunday morning. That is unbelievable. My Yard Now, thank you for the $1.99 donation as well. And also in Tom's Arm for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. And then welcome to Tom's Army, the first member who joined during the live in some time. Thank you so much, DeekC9258. Congratulations on being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Don't forget to go on YouTube, as that's my face superimposed on that emoji badge circa 2019. Don't forget to go on YouTube to get the special and the memberships tab to get the exclusive Telegram. You would be number 499 in the Telegram if you join. And that's my gift to you for joining Tom's Army. Who is this toxic Matthew guy? I don't know. I don't pay attention to the toxic people anymore. So I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to those comments, to be honest with you. Big Dog, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Let's see. I mean, he can tweet anything to get it to go. Yeah, but the tweet's only going to be when the market's going up. I told you. He's going to tweet, and then you guys are going to give him all credit. No, it's going to be the market setting it up already. He's only going to tweet when it's the right time for it to go up. Or he's going to tweet when he wants it to go down. It's not rocket science, everybody. His tweet doesn't mean shit. It doesn't. Everybody just acts like it matters. It doesn't matter. The stuff's already happening by the time he tweets. Look at the way the pattern's setting up. So if this drops down to $1.80 on XRP and then he makes a tweet and it goes to 210, it's like, oh my God, Trump saved us. There's just back testing the breakdown. I love trading based on everybody else's emotion. I'm so glad I started this channel because I can truly see how up the ass everybody is of the politics. Even if you guys don't admit it, so many people, 75% of this audience is up the ass of one person or the other with politics. It's crazy. I'm surprised you all watch me with my political hate, to be honest with you. I don't watch anything political. I don't attend anything political because all it is a mind fuck. So I don't know why so many of you watch me because I couldn't stand politics. And every time somebody regurgitates it, it makes me want to throw up. I love all of you, but I'm just saying it does because this country is so screwed. You know, the snow has more of a chance of moving this market than Trump. FYI. It has less of a chance of making money off this market like Trump because Trump's intertwined in it to make the most possible money as the snow is just sitting on the ground in danger of the salt and me shoveling it like I did earlier. 1970 Legends. Welcome in the fellow Buckeye down south, Wolverine and Buckeye. Tough defeat last night in the Big Ten Championship. But again, I think just like Michigan's lost last year with the same score, ironically, with the same missed field goal, ironically, you can't tell me this stuff isn't. I I mean, 1970 Legend, as a Buckeye fan, would you say that it was set up for Indiana to win just the way the game plan was, just like Michigan last year? I'm telling you, these sports are so rigged, it's sick. So just you see certain things, and it just certain things don't happen in the regular flow of a game. And it again, when you want to talk about manipulation, I seen a very manipulated game last night in the Big Ten championship. Just like I seen a very manipulated game with Virginia against Duke because they want to get more SEC teams in. Just like I seen BYU get slaughtered. Just like I seen Alabama get slaughtered, and they're still going to try to tell me Alabama's getting in. So I don't know what was going on in the Big Ten championship, but I can tell you that wasn't Ohio State. That's the same game I seen again. I texted my brother and said, this is exactly what they did against Michigan. Exactly the same game I watched against Michigan last year. And then when they missed a 26-yard field goal, I'm like, that didn't even, a knuckler right off his foot. Like it wasn't even close. You have to try to miss a 26-yard field goal like that. Anyhow, so I mean, in my opinion, with the college football playoff, and I know not many people care, I would go Indiana, Ohio State, so I don't care what anybody says. No, I would go Indiana, Texas Tech, Ohio State, or Georgia. You can intertwine. Actually, you probably got to go Georgia because they won the Big 12 or the SEC. So Ohio State has to stay top 4. They're getting a bye. I don't really care what anybody says. So it has to be Indiana. They'll probably go Georgia for the SEC bias. Then they'll go Texas Tech, Ohio State, and then you've got 5 through 9, which I think is pretty simplistic because you'll have Ole Miss somewhere in there. You would have Texas A&M somewhere in there. You would have, let's see. I think both Notre Dame and Miami get in now if they do it properly, and they should face each other in the first round. Don't you think that'd be great? Put Miami as a home game because they beat Notre Dame head to head. What a great first round that would be. Miami versus Notre Dame at Miami. Alabama might have got their cheeks clapped, but they'll probably still put them in. We know Oklahoma's getting in just by virtue. They're in the SEC. Let's see. It's good to see we're pulling up here just a little bit. Hopefully this takes the up route, not the down. And I keep saying I hope that it gives us some kind of ability here to take the up route. But anyhow, I'll stop talking about that. 1970 Legend, thank you so much for not only being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, very trusted mod in here, but also 5 gifted subs. That is super generous on this Sunday morning. I can't even thank you enough for involving more and more people. We've got Joe Parsons, Jern J, E4 Rockin', J1 Power, and Stay Rich all got gifted subs for their first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Thank you so much, 1970 Legends. Rough game or not, you still are showing commitment. Mark Casson, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Areli says, Tom, you say people who were buying the dip that wasn't the dip are getting wrecked. What targets do you actually see playing out? I mean, this is part of the targets I've seen playing out since January. We talked about these levels a long time ago. Now I don't know if we completely snap our necks or not. That's what we're waiting for. That's why I can't do anything yet until I find out. Either we can get some validation that we can finally reverse this, or we're going to get the confirmation to come down to that rising wedge target. I got to go blow my nose real quick as everybody filters out because they don't like what I'm saying. So I'll be right back. Everything good? All good? Is it still snowing? Oh yeah, it's still snowing. 11:15. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So right now this morning, after pulling down to that $1.98 support, we've got to fight our way back over. So if we pull up, we're looking at 204.57 that we've got to get above. If we can get above this, maybe we can stay in the channel and that inverse pattern is not invalidated. That's the one thing we have to do. That's the one thing we have to do. But Arelli, good morning. And the hardest part right now is think about this. For anybody, I keep saying you got to buy the real dip. This very well could be starting to play in that area, but we have no outward confirmation yet. Like, I would hate to buy it and then just see it drop through for everybody, especially if it makes the big drop. But we have to have some kind of validation. Some validation could be getting back on top of this area. And like I said earlier, if we can close and somehow make a run up at, I know it seems impossible at this point, but if we could make a run and get at least back on the top side here at minimum and be above that 2067. But I would like to see us, if I'm being honest with myself, I would like to see us back on top of, whoops. I don't know why that chart's in front now, but I'd like to see us back on top of this region by that close, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see what it's at in real time because it was 211, but that's going to shrink significantly. 207. I mean, yeah, we've got a chance. If we can get a bullish reversal here at the end of the weekend, we have a chance. We just need to get over that threshold. So at least we didn't fall out yet with XRP. So we can invalidate this drop big time if we can just, we got to get some upward momentum. Like we've had a nice pullback here. We came down. Maybe this is a double bottom. We haven't invalidated the structure yet. We're trying to hold this box as a support zone. And if that's the case, we could make some moves. Over the weekend, we came up a little bit on Saturday to 90,341. Before the weekend on Wednesday, we came up to 94. Bottom of the zone. We've got to avoid making this a bearish breakdown. That's all. If we can find some kind of comfort, I will be all for this. Do thinly traded impact price more than heavily traded? Yeah, because you can move the price easier. There's less volatility. As far as a a surge of volume coming in. Traditionally on the thinly traded weekends, they're more volatile in both directions because ETFs are closed, CME's closed. There's no futures trading, and a lot of things are just closed until Sunday night into Monday morning. So yeah, the thinly traded volume or the weekend, as we say, it can allow price movement to be very, very impactful in a short amount of time with much less volume coming in. There's not as many obstacles in the way, let's call it. So yeah, that's a very strong possibility that with thinly traded weekends, it can impact the price more. You'll see a lot of weird movement on thinly traded weekends too. Like sometimes you'll see prices go 10, 15%. Right when it turns back on, it drops and it gives it all back. I would say the fear probably is closer to 20 now. I'll take a look at it. I'm very intrigued by this market movement right now because we came down and tested. We need some positivity here. We need to not keep breaking down. We need to just pull this around. And then if we can get on top of 92,400, that's your dead giveaway. That 101 is likely going to come. It's still hard for me to believe that we're not going to test that at all. But I'm very happy seeing the bearishness going into the 9th and 10th. I would love to see this red continue until the 9th. If we can continue this until Wednesday, or the 10th on Wednesday, when we have the actual official rate cut, this would be great. This could be a sell the rumor, buy the news event. We don't want buy the news, buy the rumor, sell the news. This is the opposite right now. If this continues for a couple days, this could be a sell the rumor, buy the news. Yep, right now we're still getting the higher highs and higher lows, which means what we're looking for is we're trying to make a higher high before we make that, or we want to make a higher low just to move it up, but you can't make a lower high. Well, I mean, you're making lower highs and higher lows, but we got to make a higher high before we make an extreme lower low. Because this next lower low, if we have to make one, I mean, that's the problem. If we came down and made another lower low, it's got to be below $1.82. So then you start looking at the pattern and I go, what the hell is that $1.82? And then you start to go, oh my God, that's that $1.77 to $1.82 zone. Well, that also would put us back into a clear disastrous area now. Now we'd have to come back into what I call distribution, and that's going to open up the door to some shit. So lower low, lower low. So the first low was somewhere around 220. Second low on the lower low, 206. Third low on the lower low, 182-ish. Fourth low would have to bring it somewhere down below that area. And then you have an area where you could say, I don't necessarily like that as a high, but that's just a standing point. So then you have a high somewhere around 269, lower high somewhere around 257. If this is a lower high way down here, this is gonna screw things up, because this is telling us we can't even get back up to the pattern support resistance, at least the structural resistance. And this could bring downside pressure, but we're not going to know that until we see if we firmly reject off this 204.60 roughly. And we have initially, but we're trying to make a little bit of steam here to try to push back up. Do you ever watch what does the opposite of the market, like XYO, maybe just me, but those coins give signals? I watch it all the time. Why do you think I have 700 different tokens on here? Just an honest question. You don't think having all of these tokens on here is by accident in every different segment of the market? Like knowing Linea is down 5.4%, maybe XRP is going to follow. Knowing that Epic is breaking down after a push up of about 6% yesterday, it's a good signal. You know, watching these early risers, late bloomers, it's always a good thing. Yeah, of course it is. XYO is hard to, I mean, you can't just watch XYO, it's a pump and dump. Even though it's still an oracle, it's still a pump and dump, and because of the lack of volatility, that's going to be one that'll get you in trouble. If you watch that, base it on moves. But yeah, it's a great philosophy to watch other ones to see if they front run the market. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't hate that. But I think what's happening, if we can get this proper fall leading into rate cuts, we have a 2-week window. So from the 10th to my birthday on the 17th, and then they'll probably dump us on Christmas because we never get the Christmas pump. They always announce a Christmas pump. Go look back in the history on December 25th. It's not pretty. Okay. And I can tell you for a fact because it's always 8 days after my birthday is Christmas. And on my birthday last year, we had the culmination of the epic rally up, and then it crashed on my birthday by about 10 p.m. to the tune of like 30%. Then we rebounded, you know, after, because we had such a surge. And then we ultimately culminated in sometime in early 26 and just had a massive rejection. But I often watch Bright Future, absolutely. I think you're on the right page, and thanks for being in Townsend 3+ months with the XP Meteor. It's never a bad idea to look at your other assets to see how they're reacting. 119 people watching. I thank you all for that on the Sunday morning. 83 likes, almost to 117 short. At least my subscribers are back to 48,000. Yesterday it went all the way down to 44,000 when I woke up. So there was obviously something going wrong with YouTube. Then it showed 50,000, and now it's back to where it was at. So I'm just happy that 4,000 people didn't fall off. Because when I woke up, I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? What did I say? So I'm glad to see at least it all. I said yesterday, I was hopeful today it would all be back to normal. It definitely affected my output yesterday, that's for sure. It's 100% Frankie Fresh about timing the market, not time in market. It's exactly like I always say, Frankie Fresh. And thank you for being in Townsend 6+ months with the XP Predictor. And give Janine my love. Janine, if you're watching, I hope you're having a blessed day. But as somebody pointed out in the audience, this might be a good time to do a breathing exercise. Plant Goodness, or Good Seas, thanks for being in Tom's Army for first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Did we already do our breath work today? Or breathe work? No, we didn't. So let's take a breath. Sometimes it helps. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll do this 3 more times. Feel that peace overcome. Take that emotion out. Take that elbow towards crypto away. Breathe in, embrace the fact you're not Michael Saylor with all of this money loaned. Exhale and appreciate the fact you're not a Bitcoin maxi. So, whenever I'm in the room, we do an extra breathing. Oh, awesome, Frankie Fresh. Hello, Jenny. I'm so glad you're watching. So glad you're watching. Um, what a great live so far. I think we've been on for about 40 minutes. Oh, it's almost time to go to church. I'm gonna leave here about shut this off sometime around 11:35, 11:40, and just walk out the door around 11:50. It is snowing, so I get to walk through the snow. I like the snow though, but it is really coming down. I shoveled, but it looks like I'm gonna have to shovel again. It's only a couple inches, but we already had a few inches the other day, so it's starting to add up a little bit. So, what else? What else? You know what? Somebody asked me about the crypto fear and greed index. Let's take a look. Take a look at the most updated 20. Didn't I say it was going to be at 20? I said from yesterday to today it should be at about 20. Now, in the next 8 hours and 38 minutes, depending on if this drops or not, we could certainly see this drop even far, but I'm glad to see it's an extreme fear again. At least we have Jesus. Yes, we do. We have Yahweh and Yeshua guiding us all the time. We just have to believe in our hearts, mind, and soul. Can we see the snow time? Or time? I guess I could look out this window. Let's see. I know a lot of people don't get snow. Let me try to look through. Cause I'm in Michaela's room because she's out at college while I'm doing this, so I'll look through her window. Yeah, there you go. Oh, that doesn't look any better. Yeah. For anybody who doesn't get any snow, there you go. Not the best view. It's funny, we have that huge house across the street that it's not a solo house. It's actually a 4-person rental house. They have like 4 apartments inside of it. So it's kind of interesting that place has been up over there for so many decades. But yeah. And then next door, my neighbor's stuff is just, she needs to fix that shit on the side. Oh, yes, I love building snowmen. I definitely do snowman. I have done snow angels a lot. Oh, yeah, I do all of that. I do all of that. We'll have to see if this is a packing snow. I think it is based on how it felt when I was shoveling it, but the XRP futures is down 4.04% on Friday, but it sits at 203, so we're slightly below that. And this whole weekend, we've stayed in the support structure. It's just right now we're at slightly below it. So, and it's a slight below. But being below here, it's pretty scary when you're below this range. It's going to the 3-hourly. You know what? It might have pulled back up here now as of late. It might have. Maybe this is the reversal here. Maybe we'll hold this structure. See, if we don't want this to go chaotic, we need to hold this structure. But if you're rooting for that $1.85 or to come down before rate cuts, you want to see a rejection here. But right now, it's trying to hold on. I'll give it credit. The market's trying. Unless because it's 9:30, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. And then we always talk about 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sunday. We give a little grace. That's when the market volatility comes. So maybe it's just pushing into the volatility. Brandon, yes, we can look at the heat liquidation map. 100% we can do that while I'm still here. Good question. And I appreciate you being in here, Brandon. And thanks for asking a question. I appreciate it because I definitely like the liquidation heat map. We'll look at it from a 1-month perspective. I think that's simply the best way to do it. So if we're looking for low volatility or low liquidity, you can take out these areas as you see the $1.98, 7 down through the $1.9, but it's not crazy. We do have much more liquidity up at the top as we've talked about up here near 228. So now if we go into like the 3-day just to see how it's situating over the weekend on the thinly traded weekend, then we'll go to the long short ratio to see what's going on. So small, like we said, small moves down here could happen. Up over the top, even at 209, 210 area, there's some stuff. Let's go into the 2 weeks, see how it's shook out, at least through the last week of November and first week of December. We've got these liquidity just below us. And then once you get back up, that $2.28 is going to be a big area for XRP. So there's not much in here. So if we want to add liquidity for the top push, we could in fact come down, grab that liquidity, liquidate the longs that are still in here, and then pull it back up. But either direction, you don't have a lot of liquidity straight over the top until 220 plus. But immediately on the bottom, you've got liquidity as you go down the next 10 cents. So maybe in here you pull this liquidity if it wants to come down. It's in a weird spot right now. Even with the heat liquidity map, it is drying it out and re-expanding it so much. We have so much liquidity to the top side that eventually it's going to go up there. Oh, I have zero question about that. Even with, there's so much liquidity to the top that eventually when we clear this out, it's going up there. It's just a matter of when. And I want the proper confirmation because we've got all this room in between. We don't know. 94,000. You got nice liquidity here in the monthly. Down here at 83,003. Look at all this down here even. So, I mean, you could, but there's nothing in the immediate zone because you came down and up. So you've wiped out this entire $10,000 zone. There's basically nothing with $10,000 range here. Now, if you go into the 3-day, you can start to see it starting to build back up a little bit. And you can see a direction between the bull and the bears who's deciding to take control. So we came down in this heavier liquidity, took this out. Now we've got this liquidity over the top. So we could pull this liquidity. That's why we have to be very careful. It could be a 20% drop prior to rate cuts. But if this pulls itself out, I got a bad feeling about that. I don't want to see it pull itself out before rate cuts. I feel like right now we're doing exactly what needs to happen for us to have maximum capacity for a big move up if this continues. CJ2 Pilot says, love the snow. Headed to Florida today, 84 degrees and no snow. Woof. Be safe on your trip and much warmer where you're going. And thank you for being in Town Zone for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. Excellent. Excellent. You got Elsa singing Bright Future, Let It Snow, Let It Snow. I don't want to get that song stuck in my head. The kids used to watch that. 2 girls all the time. Let's see where the Bitcoin long short ratio is before I run out of time. I know I'm up against it because I'm going to church soon. I got to be there at 11 and I'm walking. Only takes me about 10 minutes to walk there. 15 maybe on a bad day, but 10 minutes roughly. So the Bitcoin long short ratio, I like to do it in the daily time frame, the 24 hourly. So we've got 51.49% going short, 48.51% going long, 25.11 billion is short, 23.66 billion is short, 25.1, wait a minute. 23.63 billion long, and like I said, 25.09 billion short. That's a $1.45 billion differential that we can take out the short traders if we go up. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. That doesn't mean we won't go down because there's a lot first, but it's starting to favor out, to go to the top side here a little bit. Ethereum 52.85 as far as the metrics, 52.85% going short, 47.15% going long. That means 18.08 billion is long, 20.26 billion is short. That means there's better than 2.12 billion or 2.18 billion extra. So $2.1 billion could be liquidated if we go up instead of down over time. And then XRP 53.07% going short. That's the highest I've seen in some time. 46.94% going short. Not the craziest money movement, but 1.28 billion going long, 1.44 billion going short. That's 160 million or so that can be liquidated off of XRP as well. There is a big gap on Bitcoin under 70. If you break 70, that's the optic that you're going all the way to 59. That's the gap. If you drop below 72 and ultimately lose 70, it aims at a $11,000 drop to 59. There's not much in between, honestly. There's not a big gap of support anywhere between 72 and 59, honestly. So could you hold micro levels? Sure, at 68 or 65. There's a big drop that can happen if we lose those areas. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that, friend. Actually, pretty much way on point with what you just said. CJ2 pilots going to Key West. Bright Future says Northern Florida 40s and rain. Oof. It's pretty damn cold. Let's take a look at how much we owe the government. So debt per citizen is $111,301. If you're a taxpayer in a sovereign debt crisis, you owe $328,221. We got a huge deficit. We've got a huge national debt, huge federal spending in the negative. Our total debt that's unfunded is outrageous. It's all outrageous. This entire board is outrageous. So, wish more people understood that, but more people don't want to look at that for reasons obvious. But yeah, for Bitcoin, if we fell through, it's a problem. If we don't, like, I like the fact that we at least are pulling up from here. Yeah, I know, I'm watching. I like the fact that if we could pull up from here, maybe we could hold this support structure on the FEG. But this is your last stand. It really is. This is either we're going to break out here off of this support and maybe we can get some big volatility up here by the end of the day. Because we can't really afford for this to break down. We can't. This has to, it can't go down if we want this to not fall out. So it's either we're consolidating for a reemergence back up, or we're getting ready for something even bigger. But right now it's fine. We watch it, we wait for the narrative, we wait for the directive to be given, and then once we find it, we jump on it and we take advantage. Bitcoin dominance is shooting up, which not necessarily a good thing for crypto. Inverse head and shoulder, we've talked about. My expectation was this would dive down to here, retest farther back up. Well, it came all the way down to exactly the area we talked about. Now it's reversing back up with this inverse pattern. Now, does this mean Bitcoin's going to rise? Does this mean altcoins are going to fall faster? I don't know. The kids are doing good. Tommy's doing great. He's had a good weekend. He had a great week of school last week. He's very happy right now. He just finished the feeding through his G-tube. He's been eating good by mouth still and drinking and all this. Well, he only drinks water, but he's been doing good drinking. So very blessed with the way it's going. Michaela's doing excellent at school. She's in the honors program at Western and she's all A's. And she's almost done for this first half of the year. I think next week she comes back home after Wednesday or Thursday for about 2.5, 3 weeks, which is awesome. And then Scarlett's doing really well. She's in middle school. She's working on her theatrical part because she got picked for a part in the play that comes out, the weekend of Super Bowl Sunday. But they were supposed to do it on Sunday as well, but they decided not to because people were probably complaining, which I'd rather be there than watch Super Bowl's nonsense. But yeah, I think that's a good live. I'm going to get ready for church. But one more thing I want to do for everybody who's here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, please. And also, the mining stocks, the way they ended the week, because I've seen some questions. Not bad. But we're going to get some volatility to start the week. I'm not sure which direction it's going to be. We have to wait until about 5 p.m. to see how gold and silver comes online. But it's possible we get a volatile spike with silver because they're just so short-handed. But we'll see. We'll see if we start out volatilely hot or not. They ended the week fine. Made some good money last week on mining stocks again. I'm not looking to really do anything with them until next year. Sure, you can take profit, do whatever you want, but I'm looking for the maximum capacity output for this would be in the second to third quarter of next year for miners, as well as black oil. I think black oil this week, hopefully it gives us some downward volatility, and then by first to second quarter of next year, we're going to be investing in this and riding it just like we did with mining stocks, precious metals, gold and silver, except in this case, it's going to be trying to utilize things that are attacked to black gold, which is oil. So with that being said, thank you all so much. I appreciate it. Looks like the government's buying the bond market out right now, so that's another thing to consider. But ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sun. And if you like it, let's see if we can get over 100 likes before I end this song. We're at 97. Sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days, oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the fun. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we may and we won't and we can and we won't and we will and we did and we haven't, we will and we won't and we can and we will and we won't and we did and we can't and we did and we will and we won't and we will and we can. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Bitcoin literally is the world's biggest Ponzi, controlled by opposition. So just pay attention because one day this is going to really come apart. We could not even get 2 likes. With that being said, thank you all. We failed our 100 like agenda. We'll try again.